Hey everybody, what's going on, Mediocre fam? It is I, Anthony. I'm here with my best friend in the world, AJ. AJ, how was AJ today?
AJ's doing pretty good. I mean, we're halfway through the week. Well, now past because work day's over, so that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. Besides that, not a whole lot. As always, shop freshlysqueezedllc.com for your own merch.
Every time, every
But
time.
besides that, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Anthony?
I'm good. I'm good. We were talking about this before you started recording. It's hot. It's hot as all hell. But
Yeah,
it's just super heated, fam. But we're actually it's a summer of news, AJ. It's a
it
summer
is.
of just anticipation. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I've been excited for a summer of news announcements since the E3 days. I don't know
Yeah,
why, it just feels different. But this episode is dedicated to the most recent Nintendo Direct. And I'm not gonna lie. If you haven't watched the entire Nintendo Direct, first of all, I watched it after it streamed. You watched it live, right?
yeah. Well, kind of like as I was working during it, so like
Mhm.
it was kind of. It was actually a really good direct for it because it was like, oh, I'd have to pay attention for like one trailer, and then they would show like two trailers of just like shit I don't care about. So like, it's only like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of my time at a time where I'd like have to watch. But
I was gonna say because the major well, let me not say the majority, but a lot, maybe 50% of this game is remasters and remakes. And wait, granted, some of them we needed, like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, aka Luigi's Mansion 2 from
yep,
3DS coming to the Switch. That's exciting. I'm not gonna lie, the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, I never cared about Dragon Quest before I saw that, and I was like, wait a minute, we might have to pay attention because that looks kind of cool.
yeah, they
But
did a great job
yeah.
with that remake. Yeah, I mean, like let's just start at the top here. Mario and Luigi Brothership was a great way to kick off the
Mhm,
direct. That game looks gorgeous. I love
mhm.
the originals. I had them on my Game Boy Advance and DS, and they were
Ooh.
they were awesome. So I'm really excited for the return. I think Brothership is a tough name, but you know,
What's wrong with brothership? What do we not have a brothership? Why can't we have a brothership, AJ? What's
I
wrong with the brothership?
I don't know. There's just something about the word I don't like.
I just
Well,
is
so
it the
for
ship?
starters, it's not a word. Let's start there. It's not a word.
Okay, neither is Ubisoft. What are we talking about, AJ?
I
What are we talking
don't know.
about? It's video games.
I don't care for it. I don't care for it.
That was a really dope announcement. Also, fun fact. Excuse me, I had to swallow my saliva because I'm salivating at these games. If you watch the Nintendo Direct now, like the most recent one on the Nintendo YouTube channel, the regular Nintendo, not the Nintendo UK, it's 30 minutes of waiting for it to start. Just FYI, I don't know if they changed that, but I like literally waited. Like I think I skipped like probably 40 minutes in, and then I got to a certain point. I was like, wait a minute, and then I walked it back, and it literally starts at like minute 30. Just FYI. But back to the game. Back to the game at hand. Yeah, no, it looks really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie, the mix of the turn-based RPG combat plus the 3D platforming actually has me interested.
Hmm.
Plus, I don't know if you like noticed it, because you were kind of like watching while you're at work. It's kind of like an anime style kind of influence. It's different than the
Yeah,
usual Mario look, and I kind of like it.
it's like more cartoony. Yeah, I was vibing with the art style. It looks good. And what's really cool about it is also not just like regular turn based. It has that like
Mhm.
timing with it too. So like as they do their attack, you'll have to like
Ooh.
press like A at the right time or whatever. So it just leaves a little more engagement to the combat also. And like
That's
you can sit there and let them do their thing. At least in past games, it just does way less damage. So it's kind of like
but it's kind of like that new Final Fantasy combat, almost, kind of, sort of, not really.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Kinda.
Like more, it's more involved than previous turn-based
Yes,
installments.
yes. So, anyways, that's
Tell me you haven't played a Mario and Luigi game without telling me you haven't played a Mario and Luigi
yeah,
game,
yeah. I was
Anthony.
like, that was from the get go, as they've always had that. That was like their thing, and it's super cool. I love how they do it.
Okay.
It's almost reminds me of how Paper Mario, the most recent one, the Origami King, kind of was, where you'd line them up
Mhm.
and you had to press A, like bounce off their heads and stuff. So, kind of reminds me of that, but I think better.
Also, one last thing, and then we can move on. I didn't want to cut you off from anything,
You're
but
good.
I will say it looks real good. Graphically, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not the case for a lot of these games that we have coming up.
No,
Um, but Brothership looks really, really good.
Exactly. Fixed name in Nintendo. Anyways, moving on. Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. This is just a neat little throwback. I mean, obviously
It's
nothing too
fun.
crazy, but yeah, it's a fun little throwback. It's such a Nintendo thing to do, so I just wanted to point it out.
No, it's fun, and honestly, it's probably gonna be the best way to experience it, especially with like the online elements where you
Yeah.
can like have your time on a leaderboard, like running through the original Mario. That's fun. That's
Yeah.
cool. And hopefully they leave all the weird NES quirks and bugs in there because that makes it even more fun and cool.
Exactly. I hope they do. I hope they do. I didn't expect Nintendo Switch Sports to get any more of an update. I figured that game was done.
You would think because they've told us as much that we're on the way to the Switch 2, whatever they're gonna call it, the
Mm.
swap, the swip swap, whatever. Um, but yeah, no, that was interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, it looks real fun. It brought back happy memories of the Wii Sports days.
Yeah.
That's just me. But yeah, no, I don't mind it. I mean, make your money. I don't care. That's fine.
My only thing about it is I think basketball is an interesting sport. I only
Man,
in the same vein that like soccer was an interesting sport for that game. Also, like I just wouldn't have expected one where you have to
yeah,
run up and down a court. You can make it work, as they
sure.
kind of have, but I know like soccer is like one of people's least favorites. I know,
But
like
see, here's the thing. Here's the problem because I think they're going for more of a global audience because soccer is big literally everywhere but the
yeah,
United States.
that is
No
true,
exaggeration, literally everywhere but the United States.
and
And
it's getting
now
big
it's
here.
even kind of
Yeah,
it's getting big. It's getting big, but it's nowhere near a
no,
Europe or a Brazil or even Canada, right? So in basketball, same way. Like kind of like how baseball is big in Japan, basketball is big like around the world. But
hmm
yeah, no, I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun, but
yeah.
it is weird timing. It's weird timing.
I just figured the game was dead. So I mean, I guess I'm happy to see that they're still making new stuff for it, but I it just caught me off guard. It really did.
Don't be surprised, AJ. Just don't feel that
Um,
emotion.
Mio Memories in Orbit. This
Yes.
game looks badass. I know nothing about it, but
Yes.
I remember watching this. I really liked the art style, and then like I was like, okay, it's a platformer, and then I saw they were like darting around doing combat, and I was like, oh, this game actually looks super good. So I'll be
Listen,
watching that.
I have in my notes that it looks like Hollow Knight meets Limbo, and
Yep.
yeah, like it reminds me the vibe of Limbo with like the art style and combat of Hollow Knight, and I doubt it's gonna be that challenging. If it is, that might be game of the year. I'm gonna just throw that out there. Um, but yeah,
It makes me think
excited.
of a 2D Blue Fire. I don't know if you've seen that
Ooh,
game,
okay.
but
No, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it looks like a 2D one of them where there's like a bunch of good movement, but then it's 2D.
Right, and then obviously we got like what was it like a 2.5 minute trailer. They didn't do the whole gameplay deep dive on this one, which is a
No.
shame. I feel like that's a missed opportunity because I feel like this is one of the more interesting things. Because I mean, right after this, I wrote these down in order. By the way, we skipped one. We can come back to it. It's fine.
Oh, let's go back. We
Um,
can pop back.
Okay, we can pop back. But yeah, no, Mio Memories in Orbit. I'm excited. It looks good. I want to see more. But as far as the one that we skipped, and then did you want to say anything else about Mio?
No.
Not the energy, the flavored water
The
thing,
flavor.
but the right. But we skipped Fantasian, from the creator of Final Fantasy.
We certainly
It's
did.
he did. And granted, I understand why it doesn't look that interesting, but it does look. I don't know, something about the combat in the way that it has a focus on like it is turn based. It's like classic turn based, but it has a focus on like swooped combos,
Yeah, I
right?
thought that was cool.
That
That was
looks
cool.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, I doubt that's the only thing that's gonna make that game interesting, but it did kind of just made me go like, hey, wait a second, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. I was like kind of snoozing for a second, and then they showed the combat. And I remember that now, and I was like, yo, okay, that's a cool idea. I don't know if it's enough to get me to buy it with everything
Exactly.
else coming up, but like I I'll be looking out for it. If there's a good sale, I could see myself getting it.
For sure. But yeah, that was it. I just wanted to show Fantasia love because I'm sure there's some Final Fantasy nerd in the comments that's just like, oh, you skipped Fantasia. It looks so good. It looks like the original Final Fantasy 6. But yeah.
It does look good. And then here we had just Kitty Land for a little
Hell
bit.
yeah.
We went from Disney to Hello Kitty to Looney Tunes, and Looney Tunes sports mix kind of game. It looks serviceable. It's a
Yeah,
sports mashup.
Disney Illusion Island kind of reminded me. You remember that Flash game, Fancy Pants? Do you remember that game?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that was one of my
It
favorite
looked
Flash
just
games.
like that. It looked just like that. And then Sublink, Hello Kitty Island Adventures, literally just Hello Kitty Animal Crossing. I'm not mad at it. Get your money. Um, and then Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports is Mario and Sonic, but with Looney Tunes, and that's fine. That's okay. But no one asked for that.
It's gonna be identical to Mario Sports Mix back on the Wii, where it was like Mario with like 4 sports, and they're all
Mhm.
serviceable. They're all perfectly fine, but none of them are like, wow, I can't wait to play this again and again. Because it's like, you know, the focus is
No.
split on 4 different sports versus like when you have like a Mario Strikers, where it's like, all right, this whole game's soccer, so how do we make soccer interesting instead of fitting, you know?
Mhm.
So I feel it's gonna be one of the same kind of things where it's like, it's serviceable. It works
Yeah.
great, but
Honestly,
it's
I
gonna hit
think you
that.
just summed up the Nintendo Direct. It's serviceable. It's not bad by any stretch, but it's not what we wanted. Kind of like I will say shout out to Among Us. I did not think this studio was updating this game still, especially with them announcing that they're working on a new project.
Yeah,
So that's cool to see like new roles and abilities coming to a game like shit 4 years old now.
yeah, probably older because it was
Probably older.
around for a bit before it got popular.
But yeah, so like let's say 5, 6, 7 year old game, like that's pretty cool,
Yeah,
and it's a game that anybody can play.
yeah,
It's I think that's nice.
I do too, and you know I'm sure it's still immensely popular. I haven't looked at any lists or anything, but I'm sure like there's
Oh, for sure,
tons of people that play it daily. Um,
definitely.
Farmagia, it looks like a neat little twist on farming games. I'm
Yeah,
probably not gonna play it, but I mean I like the idea behind it. I
yeah.
support the creativity.
In my notes, I just said Pokemon, but with farming question mark. Because here's the thing. It looks like Dynasty Warriors, but with Pikmin, because
Yeah,
you grow the Pokemon with seeds, and then they fall off of trees, and then you like attack, and like it's these huge battles. And this was like the first kind of showing in the direct where I have in my notes that this is showing the Switch's age. Cause my God, that game, it doesn't look okay. Time out. It doesn't look bad. It's very hard to make games. I'm not trying to like just shit on a game, but it does look like a GameCube game and not one of the good ones.
there's just too many little characters running around that you can control at once. I think for like the Switch to be able because the graphics aren't crazy. They're I mean they're like cell shade if I
They're
remember
not.
correctly, or they're like damn near.
Yeah.
So I think it's just all the little characters and everything happening. You know, it's a lot to track at once, and process at once. But yeah, it's definitely showing its
Yeah,
age.
it made me nervous because I was like, Nintendo, this is your best foot forward. Like this is like 45 minutes after we waited 30 minutes for the video to start. Like this is what you're displaying, and it made me nervous. But the next game that they showed,
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, baby.
Yeah.
And this is I was telling you about a conspiracy I had. This starts a conspiracy I have, but we can get into that
Okay.
in 1 second because Donkey Kong looks kind of bitching in HD, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the shit out of this. I'm really
That
excited
looks
for it.
so good.
I
It
never
looks
played
so
it, so this is gonna be one I'm getting for sure.
Definitely. And then one quick thing to note is that this comes out January 16th, 2025. And
Okay.
I thought that was important because we know that the new Switch is coming later this year. Or at least they've said as much.
This
Maybe they've
fiscal
delayed
year.
it internally. It's fiscal year. So it could
Until
come out in
April.
February.
Yeah.
April. That's right. April, whatever. My point is, it's right in that thing, and so I'd like have a lot of question marks, so many question marks, just like backwards compatibility confirmed, or are they gonna make you buy it twice, or is there a delay internally? Like you see what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how
I
does this
don't
tie in?
I don't know if it got leaked or if it's a rumor. I think it's a leak that
Oh,
the next Switch is backwards compatible completely, the same way that the 3DS was with the DS.
okay.
That you can even put all your Switch cartridges in the new one.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
So
Then that makes a lot more sense. That is gonna lead us. We're gonna close out with my big conspiracy about the huge surprise at the end. We can save it for the
okay.
fans, but I have a whole other thing about that.
All right, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 3, you already mentioned. We talked about it
Oh,
briefly.
oh, it looks so
It does
good,
look good.
dude.
They did a really good job. Well,
So
they're
good.
giving it the like Octopath Traveler kind of remake look, and I think that art
I
style is fantastic. I love it.
I literally thought it was Octopath Traveler like what are we on 4 now? Like 3 or 4?
3.
But
It would be
yeah,
on
no.
3.
3. It will be on 3. Got you. I was just like, I was like Octopath Traveler, and it was like Dragon Quest 3, and I was like, it looks like Octopath Traveler. I'm down. And then the other Dragon Quest remakes are coming, which are also released to 2025 or waiting till 2025.
Hmm.
Interesting. But yeah, no, it looks good, and I actually, cause I mean, Dragon Quest has been neglected since the 80s. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a dope game since the 80s, and it's been neglected just as long. So I mean, I'm excited that actually made like brought me back. I was like, okay, I'm down. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah. No, that's a perfect Switch game. Like that's a game I'd want to play just like in bed or on the go, just like
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. And then it
It's
looks
a
so
great
good
one.
on the Switch. It
Hmm.
looks good. Like I was like, "Oh my gosh, why did you show me the Pikmin Pokemon game when you literally could have just showed me this and I would have like been so good?"
So then right after this we had Funko Fusion, which
Oh
I
goodness, yes.
this looks fun. It reminds me of like old school Lego games where it kind of
Mhm.
had that like
Yeah.
fun, goofy side to it, and it's just like go through missions with a buddy. You know, like that.
And it looks fun. It looks real fun.
It looks fun. I might be getting it. That it does look fun. If I have someone to go
Oh
through with, I
wow.
might. It
Ooh.
looks fun. It's
It
definitely
does look fun.
targeted for kids, but I mean, hey, we play Mario and Sonic, so I mean,
I was gonna say, like, we are kids, AJ. We are the target audience, okay? Quit demeaning yourself, okay?
uh,
Love yourself.
Luigi's Mansion 2, we touched on. This is really cool because
Mhm.
now it brings every Luigi's Mansion to the Switch, which also means it'll
Mhm.
be here for the next generation since it's backwards compatible. So you have
Mhm.
the whole suite of Luigi's Mansions being on modern platforms for a long time now. So that's really cool. And they all look
Mhm.
gorgeous. They all look great.
They do. They do. Yeah. This was one I was it's kind of like, but then I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what? I don't hate this as much as I want to. But yeah, no, it's exciting, but I was just like, okay, like you could have just made another Luigi's Mansion at this point.
I have a feeling they're going to. It might be a launch title for the next Switch. I wouldn't be too terribly surprised, or like a little bit after, because they have they've now redone the first two, put them on the
Yeah.
Switch, along with made the third one on the Switch. I could see a fourth one
Mhm.
coming in this next console generation. I mean,
For
it
sure.
makes sense. They're gearing up for it.
Definitely. Oh yes. This game. Okay. I just the Donpamin.
The Dempa Men.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I love this.
In in my notes, I just I just say I cannot tell you what this game is, but it's an RPG.
It is a sequel. I think there's three of them
Oh
on the
Jesus.
3DS. They were 3DS exclusive games. I have the second one I want to say on my 3DS only, and
Did
so
you
that like it's returning to this series. It's not a very popular one, but I had a big smile this whole time. I was like, this
Okay,
is
so
awesome.
okay, I'm so happy you're a Dompamin expert because the entire time I was watching the trailer, it was like I was watching Off the Air on Adult Swim. I was like, what is happening? Like what is going on right now?
it's
And
some
like Off the Air is easier to follow.
it's some Japanese shit if I've ever seen it. It's like
Okay,
some dudes
did you
running around some knockoff Teletubbies outfits.
did you like it? Was it a fun game? Like is it something
I
that you feel like you're gonna play, not just because it's a meme?
No, I won't be getting it. I just thought it's awesome that they're making it. Like I was just happy to see
Oh my
it
god.
because it's so goofy.
Oh.
I love goofy shit, so I loved it. But
Oh
I have
goodness
other
gracious.
games I would rather spend my money on. But I'm happy it's here.
Oh goodness. Are you happy to see a Metal Slug Tower Defense game? And granted, I was skeptical at first, but I mean, we got 300 units with different abilities, and you kind of build a deck and a loadout. That adds a layer of complexity. I was like, okay, maybe, but overall, I just kind of feel like it's a mobile game. Like I don't have
it
many other feelings.
it looks like a good evolution on tower defense,
Mhm.
and that's about all I have to say on it. I won't be buying it. Is like
Okay,
like
me
you just
neither.
said, like it looks like a phone game, and that's because there are like countless tower defense phone games because they're easy to run, they're easy to do, and like it's perfect casually. So I'd rather just play one on my phone. So probably not.
Hard stop. This is a hard stop. I'd rather play it on my phone, and that's terrible. Quick shout out to Darkest Dungeon 2 though. Quick shout out because did you ever play the first Darkest Dungeon?
No.
It's weird, dude. It's real weird. I mean, obviously, it's a roguelike, not a Souls-like. I feel like I've said that word so many times in our interactions together, AJ. But it's a roguelike where
It
it's
is.
like you build a deck of cards and you like customize your characters and go on runs. It's actually pretty fun, and the second one looks like even more fun. So I'm happy it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm excited to see more.
Okay.
They are adding some like mature N64 games to the expansion pack, so that's kind of neat. They got Turok and Perfect
Oh,
Dark,
yes.
so I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm I'm not gonna lie, the Perfect Dark with the online multiplayer,
Mm-hmm.
I almost like bit my tongue. I was so happy. I was like,
Yeah.
yes,
Well, and
yes.
on top of that too, you're not playing on N64 anymore, so you don't have to like do the
Mhm.
like hold Z to turn. You have the two sticks to walk and turn at the same time. Same
Oh
reason
my goodness.
why 007's great on it because you can walk and turn
Mhm.
at the same time. I'll never forget.
Because
Oops,
ooh.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because the N64 controller sucks. But what were you gonna
Yeah.
say?
So I'll never forget. I was like in high school or middle school. I don't remember when. It was around when I first got a gaming PC, and I saw there was a mod for 007 where like you're
Mhm.
able to use it like mouse and keyboard, and that
Oh
was
yeah,
so fun because that was the first time I've ever like played it with not on N64s. It's hard to go back and play it. It really
it is.
is. And
It is.
so it was so fun to like be able to do that, like turn them out. Like I was like it was super easy in comparison then because it wasn't designed for that, but it was so much more fun. I was having a
I was
blast.
just gonna say, yeah, no, 007. I mean, 007. GoldenEye is a great game, but not on a great console. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
double GoldenEye was so good it made you forget that the N64 controller actually was trash.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, they could have done it to where it wouldn't be like the greatest thing ever, and I know why they didn't because back then it's all about the thumbstick being able to move in 360 degrees. But they could have had you move with the yellow buttons over here and then aim with this and Z to shoot. I mean, it wouldn't have been ideal, but could have made it work. That was the your main control
Kind
scheme.
of. Yeah, I mean, listen, it has a D-pad and then the controller in the middle and then the buttons over here. The three prong, we've discussed this. Three prongs was nasty work.
I
Just
love
gross.
I love the idea behind it. I
Yeah.
hate the execution.
Oh bad. It's so bad. And I'm sorry. But next up we have Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero. This is a JRPG. And the kind of catch is you collect phantoms and combine them with objects or your player character, and you get new abilities, new things can happen. That also comes 2025, which I think is on purpose. But yeah, yeah. It's a game.
Yep. I had nothing to say about this. I honestly forgot about it. So, yep. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, arcade classics, neat. It's about all I can say about it. Like the people that like those games, that's honestly fucking
What level?
awesome. It's a great
Mhm.
collection, but and they did such a good job. I'm happy to see it, but okay,
It looks so good. It
yeah,
looks so good. But that's all I have to say. The fact that you get the music and the artwork from the original games is also super dope.
yeah,
But that's about it. But AJ, I know something that you're gonna be super excited for. Okay, okay. Super Mario Party Jamboree, dude. Super
yes
Mario Party
sir, yes
Jamboree,
sir. So they're
dude.
I think this is genius. This is so genius
Brilliant,
because
brilliant.
Super Mario Party sucks. Every map feels like a grid and a box. There's nothing creative really about it. Nothing too unique. The mini games are serviceable. They're fine. The star collecting's fucked in it, and it's still gonna be fucked, I'm sure, in the DLC.
Of course,
But
of course.
um, Super Mario Party is one of the worst I've played next to 9 and 10, and they are now going back and making it good. And I think it's genius because it's gonna make people that don't have it buy it, and then they then have to buy the DLC. It's making people come back and pay for the DLC. They're adding what 6 maps, 2 returning, and then over 110 mini games. Like that's a whole game, Mario Party game in itself.
It
Genius.
is, on top of the fact that the levels are now different. Like they have different things. You can get stars on discount. You like the little shops you go to, you
Uh
can get
huh.
stuff on discount and flash sales. Oh, I don't know, you like bit on that one, dude.
Uh huh.
But yeah, no, yeah, and then the 20-player online mode,
Yeah.
dude, games will never be the change. I can't speak. I'm so excited. It's so
Yeah.
good. I'm excited. It's almost stole the show right before Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, dude. Dude, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Dude. Okay, so I have kind of a split opinion on this. Cause
Ooh, give me the bad one.
you sprung up so quick. You're like, give me
Because
the
I need to
juice.
know, like, I need to know what you can see going wrong with this game. I need to know right now.
I am a little disappointed in how they're utilizing Zelda's powers. I
Okay.
feel like it could have been her powers could have been utilized in such a cooler way than just duplicating and using items to get around the world and whatever. I think it's a really cool mechanic. I just think it's odd that this is our first time playing with Zelda. This is the mechanic we chose to go with.
Mm. I could, you know what? I could see that. But I mean, in defense, and I hate defending large corporations for anything they do, but in their defense, it's difficult to make magic a tool in a game because you have to limit it, otherwise like the game would break.
Yeah.
So the fact that the duplication works, and I feel like they probably chose the art style of it because, like, okay, cool, but the duplication of it all just turns the entire game into a puzzle game,
Yeah.
which is actually kind of cool
Yeah.
because I mean Zelda's known for just its series of puzzles. So now the whole game is the puzzle. And I think that is an interesting take on it. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you. I punched my microphone. I agree with you that they probably could have utilized the powers better. But however, dude,
Yeah.
dog, it looks so, I like how they're utilizing it. I'm
The
not gonna lie to you.
the doors it opens for future Zelda games makes me really excited. I think this copy mechanic is a one-off because they even had to give her a special like tool. Like if they ever
Yeah.
made like a 3D one, like in the same vein of like Breath of the Wild or even like a
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time where it's a smaller map but just like some dungeons. If they did that, I think they would change it up from just being the copy or like the copy item mechanic or whatever.
Hmm.
And so what I was more hoping for was you don't even have to change her moveset up too much from Link's in the sense that like magic
Hmm.
can replace a lot of things. Like you could just
Hmm.
have her swipe her hand with like a little wave of like in Smash she has that where like wave of magic whatever. Instead of a bow you can like shoot a little thing and then to upgrade it from the bow, to make it different, you could charge it up and fire a big blast, or like, but
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, but then you could have it a thing where you have to really balance magic, and like magic's kind of like your like thing you have to worry about instead of like running out of bombs. You throw like little magic grenades, but then that uses up some of your magic, whereas like regular attack
Hmm.
wouldn't, or like arrow, so like you could almost
That'd be fun.
remake it with
Yeah.
that, and then have it be a magic thing instead of inventory. I think that could be pretty fun, but
That could be fun. Yeah, no. A Breath of the Wild where you play as Zelda could be really cool. Like Ganon has actually won, and Link is nowhere to be found, and so now you have to go out in the forest, and you have this princess just like, oh, I wish Link was here. That could be pretty cool. But yeah, I think I'm excited. I got obviously we have to see how it plays, but
mm,
I think this is a step in the right direction, and I'm very very excited. Very very excited.
yes,
Very very excited. These are the words I'm trying to say.
yeah, no, it looks. And like I said, I'm excited for the future because if this sells well, they're definitely dipping their foot in with reusing the same engine as Link's Awakening
Hmm.
remake,
Hmm.
and making it like this off-brand, not trying to figure out how to use our magic because, with how they're setting this up, they now can do a different Zelda game if they want to, with Zelda's the main character, and completely change up how it plays because they did a gimmick for this one. They didn't set up a
Hmm.
rule set for her powers. There is no Master Sword really in this one, unless they really want to stick with the staff they're giving her. I hope that's not the case, but like,
Sure it's not. I'm sure it's not.
I really hope this opens the door. I hope people buy this game, and this
For
opens
sure.
doors.
And this literally was probably I'm not gonna say the highlight. The highlight was definitely at the end, but this was probably the second biggest moment. And then right after this, they know what they're doing. Right
Uh,
after this, we get a series of just like, oh, okay, cool. We get Just Dance 2025. AJ, can I hear some excitement? I guess not. Okay. And then we then we have Lego Horizon Adventures, a game literally no one asked for.
and
Then we have
that has been announced like twice now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we saw like some more
We did.
gameplay of a game nobody asked for. And then we have a Stray re-release timeout because Stray looks incredible on the Switch, and
Yep.
I'm pissed because nothing else, well, not nothing. Only a handful of other games on the Switch look as good as Stray, and that blows my mind.
And I think Stray is such a good game for the Switch too. Like if you're like
Yeah.
on like a, let's say you're traveling somewhere and you need to get on a plane, like it's such a good game to play while you're just sitting there in the terminal, sitting there on the plane. Like it's just like you're just zoned into that world doing your thing, and it's not like high stress.
And plus, it's a good game. I
It
mean, it
is.
was a lot of people's game of the year. I think it came out what last year, and it was stacked against literally the rest of the games industry. So there's no way in hell it would have won.
No,
But it's a good game.
it is.
And then we got Tales of the Shire, Lord of the Rings, Animal Crossing, but Hobbits. It looks fun,
Yep.
but okay. And then also in the trailer, it didn't run great, which I was
Nope.
like, Nintendo. The Switch is old. Give it a break. Then we have Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. That's actually kind of
That's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Also the fact that you could switch between the regular sprites or the hand-drawn animation and gameplay, brilliant, dope. I love it so much. And then okay, there's two more games before we get to the game that made me think of an entire conspiracy for this whole Nintendo Direct. Right now we have the 100 line Last
hmm
Defense Academy. AJ, do you have thoughts on this game? Because I have thoughts on this game.
No, I don't. I don't really have a whole lot. I mean, it looks good. I don't know. I
You said you said that like you just like, please shut up about this stupid game, please.
go on, go on. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
So okay, one, it definitely should have been an anime because the concept is so cool. You're
Okay.
just a guy. You're just a guy just going through the street, la di da di da, everything's normal, and then the whole planet just swaps. You just switch realities real quick, and you get yanked into like an interdimensional war where you have to learn how to defend your reality and get your reality back. That's the plot of an anime, and I would watch that anime. But this is a game, and so now we have a tower defense game. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I could be very wrong because the trailers were really cut weird, but it looks like a tower defense game.
I got that.
And you you have to figure out what's going on with your school, and that seems interesting. Like I would want to play it solely for the lore because the gameplay doesn't look too complicated. I could be thoroughly wrong. It could be like a very intricate and game of the year contender game, but I doubt it. But it looks boring, but I want to play it for the lore.
And it's funny because I say I'm not too interested in it, but as I was watching it, it kind of reminded me of Persona because you have like the limited days, it's a turn-based combat, all that. And yeah, the
Mhm.
story had me intrigued, but I don't know. The combat doesn't look as engaging, but I need to see more. I need to see more.
Exactly. Exactly. AJ, why can't you have like another persona in your heart, AJ? You're just like, no, it looks like Persona, but not Persona, and I hate it. Like every time, dude. Every time.
I said we'll see. I'm always down. It's just I don't know. There's just like there's something about it. There's something about it that just captures me, and there's something about the 100 line that just didn't capture me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because at first I thought this was like, oh, this looks bad, but then I was like, it could be actually kind of great, but it could also not.
I need to see
Anyway,
more.
before we get exactly same here, but I'm interested. I'm very very curious.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. I'm not gonna hold you. I might buy this because okay, the Romancing Saga definitely skipped me. Like I don't know how. It's just not my corner of the internet. But it's something about it. The turn-based battles with these seven bosses that you like it to pick how you. It reminds me of Deathloop, but over generations instead of like over like a day.
Okay.
And I love Deathloop to death. So this could tickle my fancy
Okay.
with a feather.
I didn't really. I worked during this one, so I don't really remember it too much.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Turn-based battles. It's like a okay. I'm trying to think of a game to compare it to. Imagine. Did you ever play Deathloop?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so imagine Deathloop, except instead of doing it all in one day, you have three different generations. You have Generation 1, Generation 2, Generation 3. And you have to kill these seven big bad bosses. You can do it in whatever order you want, at whatever time you want.
Mm.
And you have to figure out which order is the best order to stop them from taking over the world.
Oh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
See, it seems interesting. It's a remake of an older game, but I mean, it skipped me, so maybe it's just time that it got remade. But yeah, it sounds interesting.
I'll give it a second look. You piqued my interest.
See,
But
it seems interesting.
what piqued everyone's interest
Oh
is
hell yeah, brother.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Ooh baby. Ooh
Yeah,
baby.
this
Okay.
game looks good even for the Switch. Like
Listen to me. Okay. It looks like Halo.
I yeah, it does. It looks identical to Halo, but like literally I was impressed seeing individual raindrops rolling off her cannon. Like I was like
Mhm, mhm.
this is a Switch? Now,
And
yeah, go ahead.
ooh,
Yeah,
ooh, this
I think it's about to go on to your
this
theory.
is this yeah, I think you're picking up what I'm putting down right here. Okay, so I don't think that's running on a Switch. It could be. It very well could be. It's just
Mm-hmm.
there's no goddamn way it's running on a Switch. Okay? I'm pretty sure. I'm next to positive, damn near like certain that this is running on the next gen Nintendo stuff. And if that's the case, ooh baby.
Thing is, it has to run. I think the gameplay they showed us was on the successor, but I
Mhm.
think the gameplay or the, like it will still be coming out on the regular Switch because I
Yeah,
think it
definitely.
has to. They just announced it for it, so it has to.
Right.
But
But But dog,
yeah,
okay, so literally, this is what this. First of all, we're gonna call it the successor because that's just a cool ass name. But yeah, no, literally, as I'm watching it, this is what spawned the whole conspiracy. It looked good, like real good, like I almost dropped my remote. It looks so good. And then I got to thinking, I was like, nothing else looks this good. And I was like, oh, wait a goddamn minute. Because why would they not have everything running as good as it could be? Because this is probably designed with the successor in mind to the Switch, right? And it was just like, yeah, it'll run on the Switch. It'll look fine on the Switch. I mean, the other Metroid Prime remakes look fine on the Switch, but oh, baby. That right there looked like Doom running on a PlayStation 4, brother. It looked
yeah.
real good. It looked
I
so good.
dude, and I saw it. I literally was thinking, I'm like, this looks like a PS4 game, and that's what made me think, yeah, this has to be because it's rumored that the Switch 2, the successor, the swap,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it's
Mm-hmm.
called, is going to be about as strong as a PS4 Pro. That's the
Which
rumors.
is all you really
All
need.
you
And
need.
because it's first generation PlayStation 4 level graphics on Nintendo, which is insane. It doesn't look as good as a lot of PlayStation 4 games. Like if you put this next to the Resident Evil 4 remake, no, blows it out the
Yeah.
water. But this is their first foray into some high fidelity stuff. And ooh, wah,
Dude, the next Mario and Zelda games are gonna be so fucking
oh,
beautiful. They're gonna go
oh,
crazy. Well, honestly, what they could do with Mario, with all the different like crazy stuff with platforms and enemies and all this stuff, because now they have more processing power to handle multiple things. Like we were talking about with Farmagia, like
mm.
it was struggling to handle all that stuff. So when they can handle more and we get like a proper Mario game with that, I feel like they can just go wild, zero
Yeah, no, and
limitations.
I feel like they probably put a lot of these games like down with the knowing that they have something more powerful coming down the pipeline. I have a feeling that something more powerful is probably supposed to come either earlier this year, at some point last year, because we know that they've given developer kits to certain developers, but we don't know what they're working on. I have a feeling a lot of these were like, hey, we're gonna be able to run it on this, and then they were
Mm-hmm.
like, let's walk that back because production, because this, because that, because fiscal years, blah blah blah, right? And so now we have a bunch of games that don't look as good as they probably could because they're just like, we're gonna release it at some point, but not right now. But yeah, no, Metroid Prime 4, dude, ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
It's also it's rumored that the Switch 2 has been done for a while,
Hmm.
and it's been produced. It's sitting in boxes waiting to go, and they purposely like internally delayed it, so they
Hmm.
could avoid stock issues like every other console
Hmm.
struggles with now, which I think
All
is
right.
super awesome of them. If that's true,
Great.
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's just I'm pretty sure the successor, whatever is on the way, was probably going to be that Switch Pro that got rumored because you remember that it was. Oh Jesus, that was gross. I'm so sorry, microphone. The Switch 2 was rumored back when the Switch Lite was rumored, and then the Switch Lite came, and it's like, okay, cool. And then the Switch OLED came. We're like, all right, great. And then the Switch Pro just never came, and we're like, okay, that's weird. And then
Yeah.
I have a feeling they were probably like, we could probably tweak this, do that there. Oh, now it runs beautifully, and now we have Metroid Prime 4, and that
See,
baby.
I still have a feeling that Nintendo doesn't know what to do after the Switch.
Mm,
And so the OLED became a way to pad out till the Pro or till the successor, because that's
mhm.
essentially our Pro model. And
Basically.
then now they have this new successor that they've even said is not necessarily a Switch 2. They've called it a successor. So like it's not really then the next console in a way. So like I have a feeling that Nintendo's literally just stalling till they have time to figure out what they're doing next.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's smart because you
Yeah,
could do what Xbox is doing and just kind of be like, I don't know, fam. Or you could do what PlayStation is doing and be like, we won, kiss my ass.
we
Like,
don't have to
I
try
don't,
anymore. Yeah.
they don't. And the crazy part is they don't
No.
because Microsoft has been throwing layups and missing. Like, hadn't had a slam dunk yet.
Power
They
World was a slam dunk for him. I'll give him that.
Power was the biggest fluke this half of the Mississippi, AJ. It was such a
that was
fluke.
that was pulling in the third string in the fourth quarter, and somehow he catches the Hail Mary and makes a touchdown. Like,
It's just like that wasn't supposed to do what it. First of all, it
yeah,
wasn't supposed to be as big as it was, and it damn sure wasn't supposed to work out the way it did with it being an Xbox exclusive and like a PC exclusive. I mistake. Like, there's no goddamn way, dude. There's no way they could have seen that coming.
no,
So, and then Sony, literally, that's the biggest kind of situation they had all year. And Sony's just kind of like, eh. And then Sony's been dropping flops, brother. Sony got
flops.
Rise of the Ronin. What else came
Which
out that
was
was very
like,
unimpressive?
Rise of the Ronin is cool, but like it died pretty much on launch. Like no one talks about it like a week
Mm-hmm.
later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you want to know something? You want to know something? I bet you still play your PlayStation 5 or you play your Xbox. I bet.
Yeah, yeah,
The crazy part is Sony's right, and I hate that they're right because they know they're right.
yeah. That's the thing, is it's not healthy for competition. That's why like I really hope this next Xbox generation does really well. I hope it is a PC that is like this ultimate gaming machine, because then Sony will have to try again. They'll have to do, like, they can't just sit back. So I hope that's the case.
Mhm.
And with Nintendo now getting up there in power as we reach kind of a plateau on power, Nintendo is going to be in competition to be constantly blowing both of them out of the water because they never stop trying. Nintendo
Never.
could have no competition and they're going to be trying just as hard. They are the definition of
Probably
try
trying
hard.
twice as hard because
Yeah.
now they're trying to beat themselves. One more thought that I'm gonna share with everybody, and then we can get up out of here. We've been talking about video games for a good little minute. I feel like we're getting back to that PlayStation 2, no, well, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox era. I feel like
Hmm.
we're getting back to that where like it was literally a game of preference and exclusives. Like everything was about as powerful. I mean, Nintendo's been underpowered for like a while, but they also had incredible games that have maximized what they had incredibly well. So I feel like we're getting back to that because like a PlayStation 4 Pro, people like Sony just released the numbers. About 40 or so percent of all Sony users are on their PlayStation 4 right now. So, I mean, if you have a PlayStation 4 Pro, you're in the game. So, I mean, yeah. So now we have Xbox doing whatever they're doing. I don't know. I hope these games that they have coming out are good because they are different. They are what a lot of gamers are asking for. It's just like,
Hmm.
I want something different. I don't want to play Halo number 17. I want something new. Now we got new games. So we're going to see if gamers are actually going to do what they say that they do, which 50-50. And hopefully that prompts Sony to do something different because we know we got a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline, but nothing yet. I don't know what they're doing. But now Nintendo entering the foyer as a real competitor and not just a little company on the side. Like this is gonna be fun. Next
Yeah.
year's gonna be fun.
Yep. I'm excited. Next year is going to be another great year in gaming. I don't think it'll beat 2023, but it's going to be another great year.
Oh,
We're definitely. We'll see. We'll see.
are you
We'll see.
are you ready to concede that 2023 might be the greatest year in gaming? Are you ready? Are you ready?
It might be one of the greatest years. I still don't think we're in the greatest era, even though it was a great year. Because individual game, it was banger after banger, but the culture behind everything is terrible, I think, right now. But
yeah, okay. You know what? I'll give you that. I will give you that.
it's the greatest
yeah.
year, the worst era. One of the worst eras.
I was gonna say, because we lived through the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. Listen, companies lying to us. That was when YouTubers were just toxic people, and now they're like toxic people with money. So like now they do charity work. And we're YouTube people too. Like, comment, subscribe. But
yeah. Yes, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. While we're here, appreciate you guys tuning in. We always have episodes air at 7 a.m. Central every Monday, every week. So please tune in. We appreciate every single one of you. With that, Anthony, do you have anything else for us?
Check out Freshly Squeezed. AJ, do the thing with the shirt yeah, for sure. There you go. Boom, represent. Check out Freshly Squeezed. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Argue in the comment section, please. Send this to someone who thinks Nintendo sucks, because they are creeping up. And honestly, just send them the link to the Metroid Prime 4 trailer, because damn, that shit look good. Also, AJ, as you noticed, no smoke detectors.
Let's go.
Go, brother. But yeah, that is all I got. We love you. We think about you all the time. AJ, do the thing.
As always, guys, stay mediocre.